All right. Welcome back, everyone. You know we love to go deep on this show.
Deep dives are the best dives.
That's right. So many incredible creatures out there in the world.
And you guys keep sending us amazing suggestions for topics. Like this one.
Yeah. So many of you wrote in asking to learn more about blue whales.
And I have to say,
I'm with you.
such a great pick.
Seriously.
These are the biggest animals to ever exist.
Like bigger than any dinosaur we know about.
Makes you think, huh?
It really does.
How'd they get so massive? What do they eat? And what's life like as a blue whale?
We'll cover it all, right?
Absolutely. So let's dive right in.
Okay, so starting with the obvious.
The size.
Right. I mean, blue whales can get up to 30 meters long.
That's like longer than a bowling lane, right?
It's wild.
Ooh.
But how does that stack up against, say, a humpback whale?
Well, a humpback is about the size of a city bus, maybe 15 meters at most.
Okay.
So now a giant squid.
Oh, those are pretty big.
Yeah, they are. They can be intimidating. But even those guys are tiny compared to a blue whale.
How tiny are we talking?
A giant squid might reach about 13 meters max.
Wow. That's still big, but I get it.
Yeah, and the crazy thing is,
Right.
a blue whale's tongue alone can weigh as much as a whole adult elephant.
No way. Are you serious?
I'm totally serious. And their heart,
What about it?
it's like the size of a small car.
Whoa. It's mind-boggling. But how do they even fuel a body that gigantic?
Right. What could they possibly eat enough of?
I'm dying to know.
Well, their diet is surprisingly specific.
What do you mean?
They mostly just eat krill.
Krill. Those tiny shrimp things.
Exactly. But we're talking about trillions and trillions of them.
Wow, I guess that makes sense.
They form these massive swarms in super cold, nutrient-rich waters.
And blue whales just gobble them up.
Pretty much. A blue whale can eat up to 4 tons of krill every single day.
That's like eating a whole minivan full of food every day.
Yeah. It's pretty incredible.
So how do they find enough krill to survive?
That's where their migrations come in.
Migrations.
Yeah, they're constantly on the move following those krill swarms all over the globe,
Like across the whole ocean.
from the icy poles to the warmer waters around the equator.
Wow, they travel thousands of miles.
They do, and they usually do it alone or maybe in pairs.
That's pretty amazing.
It is. It's like an intricate dance they do with the ocean currents and the krill blooms.
But they're not just these big lumbering creatures, right?
Oh, absolutely not. They have some seriously cool abilities.
Like what?
Well, for one, their vocalizations are unlike anything else.
What do you mean?
Their calls are considered the loudest sounds made by any animal.
Really? Louder than, like, a lion's roar.
Way louder. It's more like a deep rumble, but it can travel for hundreds of miles underwater.
Wow. So they're basically using sonar.
Exactly. It helps them navigate and find each other in this vast ocean.
So cool.
And speaking of navigation, did you know they can reach speeds of up to 50 kilometers an hour?
No way. That's like really fast for something so big.
Right. Their streamlined bodies and powerful tails help them glide through the water.
And they can hold their breath for super long periods, right?
Yeah, they have these huge lungs for storing oxygen.
Makes sense.
Plus, their heart rate slows down a ton when they dive.
So they conserve energy.
Exactly. It lets them stay underwater longer.
And speaking of coming up for air,
They're blowholes.
right, they can shoot water up to 9 meters high.
Yeah, it's pretty spectacular to see.
I bet. What's happening there?
Well, it's like a giant exhale after a deep dive, getting rid of old air and taking in fresh oxygen.
What they see?
Scientists even use those blows to track whale populations and study their breathing.
That's pretty clever. So with all these adaptations and their size, they must live for a long time, right?
They do. They typically live 70 to 90 years.
Wow. That's like us.
It is. And to figure out their age, scientists look at the layers of wax in their ears.
Wax in their ears.
Yeah, it's kind of like the rings of a tree.
So each layer is a year of life.
You got it.
That's pretty fascinating.
It is. It gives us a glimpse into their history.
But their history is a bit of a sad one, right?
Unfortunately, yes. Whaling in the 20th century almost wiped them out.
That's terrible.
It was a dark period for these gentle giants.
But thankfully, there's a global ban on whaling now, right?
Yes. It was put in place in 1966 and has been crucial for their recovery.
That's good to hear.
It is. But they still face challenges.
Like what?
Climate change and pollution are the biggest ones.
How so?
Well, as ocean temperatures rise, it impacts the krill populations.
And that's their main food source.
Exactly. And pollution from things like ships and underwater surveys.
Those can be a problem.
Oh, yeah. They create a lot of noise that disrupts whale communication.
Really? How does that affect them?
It makes it harder for them to navigate, find mates, and even take care of their young.
Wow, so it's a lot more complicated than just protecting them from hunting.
It is. It's about understanding their whole ecosystem and the threats they face.
I see. So as amazing as blue whales are,
They are.
we also have to acknowledge that they're vulnerable,
That's right.
and we have a responsibility to help protect them.
Absolutely.
It really makes you think,
About what?
if the biggest animals on Earth are at risk, what does that say about the state of our oceans?
It's a big question, and it's one we all need to consider.
It really is.
It shows that even these incredible creatures aren't immune to human impact.
That's a sobering thought.
It is, but it's also a call to action.
To do what?
To be more aware of our impact on the ocean.
And to find ways to protect these amazing creatures.
Exactly.
Wow, well, this has been an incredible deep dive.
I agree.
Thanks for sharing all your knowledge with us.
My pleasure. Always happy to talk about these magnificent creatures.
You've really given us a lot to think about.
I hope so.
Thanks again, and thank you all for listening. Till next time.
See you then.